literally look at all of them at the same time. So what is this Oakland FCC policy program? What is it? What does that mean? How does it apply to you? Why is this important? We worked really hard to craft this statement, and I think it's important that we take some time to look at it. The Oakland Family Child Care Policy Program will develop a policy and advocacy agenda based on the expertise and priorities of Oakland FCC providers. That is you. You are the experts, and you are going to drive and recommend the priorities of what you think is important for family child care in Oakland. This program's planning committee is led by a diverse group of family child care providers and parent advocates who are supported by Bananas, First 5 Alameda, and Oakland Starting Smart and Strong. Grounded in racial and economic justice values, this program centers, again, you, family child care providers, as educators, community leaders, and bridge builders for Oakland children and families. This is a really powerful statement, and it's true. And I think this is really important to take a second to look at and just be in your power and just know how much power you have. And yeah, and it's for us as a team, it's a privilege to be a part of this group. If I can say that, it really is. It's a privilege. We are happy to share with you the team members of this group. So you will know there are many very important people on this. There's, there might be some autograph signing later. You'll see, some of these ladies here are superstars. Trisha Barua from Oakland Starting Smart and Strong, Gabby Rojas from First 5 Alameda, Deanna Garcia from First 5 Alameda, and also Julia Forte Fruden, who's our board president at Bananas. I haven't even introduced myself. I'm Maria. I've never met any of you. I'm Maria. I'm Director of Community Services at Bananas. My colleague Sarah Silva is Manager of Provider Services at Bananas. And then your colleagues are here to guide this work. Charlotte Gwynn is here, Robert Williams, Leanna Mayoral, Margarita Garcia, Nancy Harvey, Noni Galloway, and Shruti Agarwal. Any thoughts, concerns, questions? I like all questions. All questions are good questions. Are we moving okay? We want to make this we want to keep going today and maximize your time together. So yeah, I hope that, oh, we have something fun. I'm so sorry. So it's good because Sarah's here to tell me what to do. Sarah should actually be very known to all of you. I hear a rumor that if she sends you an email, you guys pay attention. Is this true? If she says, "Hey guys, I've got this stuff," I hope you respond. And again, please contact us directly if there's anything we can do for you. Sarah's got a cool poll for us. Okay, let's have some fun, Sarah. Let's do it. What is your current breakfast beverage? Let's see. Oh, these are good choices. Frappuccino, smoothies. Ooh, these are good, Sarah. And where do you work? What do you do? Share what we want to see. Who's out there? Who's listening to us? Okay, it looks like we've got Frappuccino, black coffee, cream and sugar. Okay, yeah. I'm with you on the coffee with cream and or sugar. That seems to be a popular one. And it looks like great, awesome. And we have our family child care leaders here and a lot of community partners. Awesome. This is great. And again, thanks so much for joining us. Okay, and the child cream and sugar wins. I'm down. My favorite is Dunkin' Donuts. That's a secret. I don't know. French vanilla, that's me. I'm pretty simple, pretty easy. Okay, great. And I think we're good. Okay, we're going to move on to our awesome, amazing panelists. You may know them. You may know them in person. You may know them from emails. You may know them being on TV. Several of these ladies are on TV all the time. I don't know. I am not on TV, so I am not as cool as some of these ladies. So I will hand over to Gabby to share with you who we have to share with you today.
Morning to each of you. My name is Gabby Rojas and I work for First Five Alameda. I'm the provider services manager, and I am so thrilled to be able to have been working with this wonderful group, our FCC policy group out of Oakland. I have been really pleased to have been able to have worked with these wonderful panelists. And just to introduce some of them, today we have we'll hear from Ms. Charlotte Gwynn, and she is the Vice President of the Alameda Professional Child Care Association, also known as APCA. She is also a family child care provider, and we will hear from her. We have as well, today we have Miss Nancy Harvey, who is also a child care provider in Oakland, and she's been at this work for 18 years. She is a wonderful advocate for FCCs in the community. We also have Miss Noni Galloway. She is our parent representative today, and she is a member of Parent Voices in Oakland. She is also a mother of a preschool age child, and Parent Voices is a parent advocacy group, and her more recent work in her membership there has been working with Measure C, which will provide funding for Alameda County's early childcare and education system. We also have with us today Ms. Shruti Arawal, and she is the president of the Valley Family Child Care Association. She is also a mother of 2 children. She has a teenager and 1 child under 10 years old. She also works with Alameda County Planning Council. So today we will be talking about how policy affects our daily lives. We know that it's something that it's important to be connected to, and advocacy is so important, and that connection from advocacy to policy. We know that daily legislation and policy does affect our work and our personal lives, and I'm so thrilled to be able to start today with Ms. Charlotte Gwynn. I have a question for all the panelists. Ms. Charlotte? If you could please tell, good morning and welcome. For the question for you today is, what does advocacy mean for you? And can you share with us some examples of how you've advocated for others in your work?
Yes. Well, currently I am the Vice President of Alameda Professional Child Care Association. I joined a family child care provider recommended that I join that group. I was not a member, and I was like an island, just there by myself, not really communicating on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis with anyone. And I didn't know what was going on. So actually someone referred me, and I just kind of sat back on the sideline, to be honest with you, for a couple of years. And then when they started saying, we're going to look for a new president, this, that, and I said, and my cousin was there, she said, you'd be a great team member, you should join. I was like, then I thought about it. I said, why not? So I did. And it's been, I think this is my 2nd year. And I've learned a lot, but most importantly, being able to advocate and help other providers with resources. We partner, Alameda Professional Child Care Association. Right now, we partner with First Five. We have taken the role of checking on our family child care providers throughout the Bay Area. I make a joke and say this is not a paid position. When I call, I want to get the family child care providers' attention and say, I'm just checking on you. I want to make sure you have PPEs. I want to make sure your school is okay. Is there anything that you need that our R&Rs or First Five can do to help you? And believe it or not, about 25% are in the dark. They're not getting emails, they're not reading emails, they don't have thermometers. So to be able to talk to people and actually help them, I get emotional sometimes. I called a provider, quick example, and because she was in my breakout room in a class, and she was not running her daycare, if I can say properly. And I said, don't worry. I called Sarah Silva, who's on the line. I went and picked up PPEs and thermometers for her And she was in Alameda. 4 babies can't leave. So, you know, I partnered with Sarah. I called her. You know how they say, call me at Bananas. And you go, they'll never answer. Sarah called and said, yeah, come on. I went right down there and got it. After 6, I met up with this provider. So we really care, you know, being on this team. First you listen and say, oh no, not another thing. I'm with Quality Counts right now with Wendy Lowe. I'm the vice president of this. Now you want me to do something else? And Sarah had called me. So when I read it and I said, wait a minute, this is great. And I told the team, this is one of the most enlightening groups that I'm with, because I get to hear things about what's really going on and what's really impacting the FCCs. And I get to see things start and finish, you know. Talking about advocacy, the union asked me, hey, the members on here know who Bahar is, and David, Charlotte, would you like to speak on behalf of your FCCs with Channel 2? What is your first impression? No. And I said, where? Well, we haven't think. So then I said, you know, I got a big backyard if you want. Then I just started being a little helpful. It was great. They came, they were in my backyard, and they said, we want you to tell Governor Newsom that the family child care providers in the Bay Area need this, this, and this. And I was like, I don't want to say that to him, but I did it. And I'm able to see the start go to the finish. And that is so enlightening to me and the providers on this line that have received grants from First 5, supplies from 4Cs, Hively, Banana. It's just great. So, you know, we have a saying that says sharing is caring. This sharing it's so helpful. When my colleague Joy West is on here, when she says, hey, did you hear this? Did you get this pin from Bananas? You know, we need to let the association know this, and we do. We've been able to help each other. It's like this team, everybody on this call is a light, and there's some dark lights out there. And then when we enlighten this person and this one, the change is, it just flourishes. And being able to see us work together, being able to hear what's going on for the benefit of our fellow child care providers is just so exciting to me. I've been calling, and I see about 8 faces on here that I called, and that is letting me know this is working. I'm so happy they're here. They're learning, because these fireballs that are on this call right now, they're going to tell another 10 people. And that's how, you know, advocacy works. You know, I think about team, and I wrote something, and I want you guys to kind of remember this. It's little. And when I think about it, I said teamwork, working together works. That's one of my things. So I said T is for us being together and working together, okay? The E in team, let's educate. I want us to educate others on the benefits of advocacy, okay? Let's take that A in team, and that's for advocate. You know, we're advocating for ourselves, for others, city, state, all the levels. And that M, I want to help our family child care providers and the whole team just be motivated. We want to be motivated to encourage others, you know, because like I said, working together works. There's a chain. If everybody links up, that chain is strong. You got weeks over here, that chain's gonna fall. So I'm excited. Thank you guys for having me and letting me be a part of this team. And I care about my fellow family child care providers, and I just want their businesses to survive. And all these resources that I'm learning about, I'm going to share that with, you know, the whole family child care industry. You know, we're teachers, we're motivators, and lastly, we're brain developers, and that's most important. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you for your inspiring words. Thank you for being such a wonderful connector to our community here in Oakland. I'd like to now ask Miss Nancy Harvey to please come up in our virtual platform here. We'd love to hear from you. What does advocacy mean to you? And can you please share with us how you've helped to advocate for others in your work?
Good morning. It is such a delight to be here, and it's so wonderful to see all of you. I have been a child care provider for going on 18 years, but I've been an active advocate, I would say, for about 12 years. I honestly got my start through Parent Voices and the Child Care Law Center. And then one day, this young man knocked on my door with this gold and purple shirt on, and he started talking about a union. And I thought, now what in the world? First of all, he knocked on my door at nap time, and I came to the door like, this better be good because it's nap time around here. But he was very kind and sweet, and he explained to me what a union was, and I have been a diehard ever since. I am the Alameda County representative for the negotiating team with CCPU, which stands for Child Care Providers United. And we really fought long and hard to form a union. And the reason was so that we could have a seat at the table and work to bargain with the governor on issues. And by the grace of God and a lot of hard work from a lot of people, and when I say a lot of people, I mean from the all over the United States, literally calling and signing petitions so that California could form a union. And Gavin Newsom, after 3 other governors said no way, he signed the bill and said absolutely. And when he signed it, he said, this is long overdue. And I always hold him to that because we are currently negotiating at the table. And we have been advocating for everything. First of all, we advocated to become essential workers. We advocated to get PPEs. We've advocated to get extra funding. And there's so much more that's coming down the pipe. And we are including all providers. And that has been no easy task. And that includes our undocumented child care providers, as well as our private pay providers. You will stay tuned. I can't spill the beans this morning about everything that's coming down the pike, but it's a lot of things that's coming down the pike. And also, I'd like to add, at CCPU, we become a family, really. We are a family. And it's a family of, I would say, about 10,000 strong here in the state of California. And so that's critical because every policy that comes out that expects I see someone said, nope, I'll have to address that, Giselle. Good morning, Giselle. We are fighting for everyone, and stay tuned. So I have advocated locally.
I'm sorry, Nancy, I have to interrupt you. I'm not talking about your speech. There's just no translations.
Oh.
There's a problem with translations. We can't hear it.
Oh, okay.
So you're not being translated. That's all I'm sorry about.
Okay, thank you. I was like, okay, Giselle, I'm advocating. Wait a minute. If we could get the translation fixed, that would be so helpful. But we're advocating all the time for child care providers to raise the rates, to get health benefits, to get a retirement plan. And so we are all working very hard and diligently. And advocacy to me means collectively putting forth a change. We are about having a voice and making sure our legislatures are hearing us. And when they put policies forth in the forefront, that that we have the right to come to say, no, we want it this way, not that way. And that's what advocacy means. And the more people we have doing that, the better off this industry will be. We advocate for the children, the family, the workforce, and as my sister on the line said, Charlotte, one time, and the community. So I think that's all I have to say about advocacy and CCPU, but also I sit on the board for the Planning Council here in Alameda County, and we really focus on policy, and it's policy, again, for the children, the family, the workforce, and the community. And the Planning Council consists of all the R&Rs that are here in Alameda County, as well as several other private centers, also federally funded centers, and a couple of us are in-home childcare providers. So I am about making change in this industry and trying to help the best way that I can. And we need more of you to come forth and to lend a helping hand. And that's really all I have to say this morning about that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nancy. We want to thank you for your hard work at the local and the state level. We are really privileged to have your expertise here today.
May I say one more
Yes.
thing? Because it honestly was my proudest moment. Last year, I'm gonna show this up. I had the opportunity to testify in front of the US Congress, and here's my picture there. And honestly, through all the advocacy work that I've done, this definitely was the proudest moment. And I was advocating for child care providers nationwide when I went to speak to the Labor and Education Committee. And it was such an honor. And we have seen change. We have definitely seen change across the nation because of thousands of folks advocating. So we need all of you who are here on this phone, on this call this morning, to get on board and come join us.
That's right, we do. Thank you, Miss Nancy. I'd like to turn it to Ms. Shruti Arawal. If you could please also share with us the advocacy work you've been able to do inside of your organization. We'd invite you to come up to the platform, please.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Shruti Agarwal, and I'm the president for Valley Family Child Care Association, and also a member of the Alameda County E-Planning Steering Council. Before I start about advocacy, I'll just let you guys know a little bit about the VFCCA, which is Valley Family Child Care Association of Alameda County. The VFCCA was founded and established in 1976. We are a nonprofit organization. We at the VFCCA are a group of licensed quality childcare providers that own all home childcare programs. Our mission at VFCCA is to provide our members with educational opportunities, support, networking, and fellowship and referrals. For parents, we want to be a one-stop shop to find quality childcare in their area. We meet on every second and fourth Tuesday of the week by Zoom, and yearly membership fee is $50. If you're interested or want to know more about it, we will provide a link in the chat so you can check our website. And if you're interested, you can always email me about how to join. And what does advocacy mean to me? Advocacy to me is to be voice to somebody. I am a voice to all my fellow childcare providers, and I am able to voice their fears, their opinions, their concerns at a level and with concerned authorities. So like, for example, the VFCCA started a petition that we addressed with community care licensing at change.org about LPA visits happening in the spring. And our ask was just simple, to hold it off or to push it off till it is safe for everybody to have an in-person visit. So maximum people are vaccinated. You can read more about this petition and we will provide a link in the chat. So you guys can go share, read, and forward it with all your provider friends and family members around, so that licensing can hear our call, our demand, so that we can keep our programs safe from and out of COVID. And as I said before, I'm representing family childcare providers in Alameda County at the ECE Steering Council. I can voice your wants, concerns, fears as a family home childcare provider. And if you have something that needs to get addressed at a county level, please feel free to reach us. Me and Ms. Nancy are both representing you guys, and we can provide you our email addresses. Please, 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 anything you have, we can voice it for you, but it has to come to us. I or Ms. Nancy or Ms. Charlotte alone cannot make a change happen. We cannot make people listen to us. Together we can. So we have to be together and make that change. Thank you. Thank you for listening in.
Thank you, Shruti, so much for sharing your experiences, sharing how you uplift the voice of family child care through your association, but through your work with the local planning council as well. Thank you so much.
Gabby,
I
can we
will-
take 1 second, just 1 second here? I know we're still having some challenges with our Spanish translation.
Yes.
Can we check in? For those of you, can you raise your hand or tell us if the translation is working or not? Or put it in the chat. I just want to make, and I thank you for a pause. I just want to make sure that we can have an opportunity to try and address it. I see Gabriella is asking about, so any of you who are using or trying to use the translation, can you just let us know if it's working or not in the chat? And again, I appreciate your patience. We're doing the best we can. This is being recorded and we are happy to send out a full Spanish translation after. Okay, so I don't see anybody saying anything in the chat, so I'm not sure how to move forward. Anyone? If you click on the English, I just want to, Gabriella, can you tell me if it's working? Yes, you may, go ahead.
I'm gonna go ahead and end the translations and then start them again, maybe. That's why Sume is not able to talk, because she's able to work. So let me end them really quickly. I'm not really sure why one of them is working and not the other one. So thank you everybody for your patience. I'm gonna start them again.
Spanish. Oh.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. We're really trying to work with this technology. It's not always perfect. It's not user error. Sometimes Zoom does things on its own. So again, I appreciate it. We just want to make sure we have an opportunity to make sure everybody can hear. And again, we are happy to send out this recording fully translated. Okay, so now you should see on your screen that Spanish and 2 languages are available. So if you guys who are seeking translation, if you could click on it. And then Gabriella, can you tell us if it's working? Awesome. JJ Kotler, thank you. You can hear Spanish. Awesome. And for those are Chinese speakers, Sume, can we hear? How's the Chinese translation working? I see you talking, Sume. Are there any providers who can hear the Chinese translation? You could let me know in the chat, raise your hand. That'd be awesome. I don't see any raised hands. Giselle, are you hearing the Spanish translation? Are you good? All right. It sounds like we're good. Thanks, Gabriella. Thanks, everybody. Gabriella from Bananas, are you good? Is it translating? Okay. Awesome. All right, let's move on. Thank you for the pause. Thank you, Gabby.
So thank you all for taking that pause. It is important that we get that fixed. Thank you so much. So we've heard from 3 of our family child care providers. I would now like to introduce our parent representative, Ms. Noni Galloway from Parent Voices. Noni, if you could step up to the electronic platform. We'd love to hear from you.
Noni's having a little bit of trouble logging in. We're trying to get her in right now. So maybe there haven't been that many questions in the chat. But maybe we can do a brief Q&A for folks who already spoken, and when Noni gets back, we can have her share.
Sounds good. Thank you, Trisha. So I did see one question, and this would be directed for Ms. Shruti. This one comes from Ms. Carpenter. She has a question. Have you heard back from licensing regarding the petition that you've put out?
In the early days, when this petition went live, I did hear back from our regional manager, Anika Evans. However, she said that because it is not gaining the momentum it was supposed to gain, they are still going to consider doing in-person visits. But we have Cal Matters wanting to publish an article on this. So I'm hoping and crossing my fingers that after that article comes out, we might get some momentum on the petition again. And hopefully that would be a push that licensing wants to see. Other agencies are also getting involved in the ask that we have. So far, haven't heard back anything.
Wonderful, Shruti, and we'd love to see that article when it comes out. So right now the floor is open for questions. You can feel free to either unmute yourself or drop the question in the chat. You have available to you a wealth of knowledge. These family child care providers are leaders in their own right, and we could spend a lot more time talking about their work. And you have a comment from Ms. Carpenter. I've shared the petition widely. Encourage others to, and I hope the article helps. So you have support, Shruti. That's wonderful. Thank you, Ms. Carpenter, for sharing. Okay. Just pause here and see if there's any questions. Again, you're welcome to type them in the chat or unmute yourself if you feel comfortable. And then I see a comment from Miss Dolores Whitehead. She said, I can speak. Let's see. You're welcome to take the floor, Dolores, I can try to unmute you if you need.
Hello, I'm Dolores Whitehead. I'm a licensed child care provider, large family daycare in the city of Oakland. I've been doing business since 1993, thank God. I was wondering, I registered about 4 of my parents for the emergency workers program through 4 C's and Bananas, Hively. They were all offering that. So 4 of my families went. They offered 2 families, 4 C's only, offered 2 families a lifetime child care payment through 4 C's. And I was just wondering why Bananas didn't do the same. Does anybody have any information on that?
So Dolores, that is an excellent question. We're actually waiting for our new check, which should have arrived Friday. So we are getting 2 new streams of funding. One will be to enroll new families whose parents are essential workers, and we will get another stream of funding to extend essential workers who are already getting subsidy for childcare. So we are literally waiting for those 2 checks. Miss Nancy called me yesterday to say, Maria, where's the money? So we will push that out and share that with you as soon as we have the checks in hand, Dolores. But yes, we have the same stream of funding that the other owners have. We're just waiting for the dollars, and then we will start enrolling.
And I also wanted to know when, I forgot, I thought it said June or May, would this essential workers program end? For right now, before the checks come, when is it supposed to end? Is it June or May for the families?
That is a good question. Dolores, can you direct message me your email address and I'll get back to you? Oh, Miss Nancy knows. Yeah.
Hi, Dolores. Thank you for asking. That's one of the things that the union is fighting diligently for. So I don't want to spill the beans, but stay tuned.
All right.
Stay tuned.
All right.
Okay.
Stay tuned. Thank you so much.
We are fighting strong, and it is 60 of us. 58 counties here in California, and trust me.
I mean, because we're clearly not over this yet. It is clearly not over. Not yet.
Right.
Not
right.
yet. Not June.
Right. And given the state credit, they understand that.
Yeah,
They're
they
not
do.
denying that.
They do. And I take my
But
hat
the
off.
process is slow.
Yeah,
You
and
know, I have to say that the process is slow.
Yeah, but I take my hat off to Gavin Newsom for what he has done for
Amen.
child care providers.
Amen. Amen. So I'm sure all of us are going to fight back on this recall because he is the governor, the only one that signed the bill that allowed us to form a union. And we're fighting strong and hard. We are.
People get angry with people that are voice for us and have balls, and he has that. He has it. He is not afraid.
And he is looking out for folks who have not necessarily been looked out for.
Right.
And so that includes Black and brown people, that includes people who've been marginalized. He really, I feel, is for all people. His hands are tied.
They are.
Yeah, I could go on and on with my
I can, but thank you all so much.
I don't think I should though. Yeah.
Thank you, Dolores, and thank you, Nancy, for answering the question. I have one more question that I think would be relevant and would pose it to the panelists and also the members of the policy group. So there's a question here from Giselle. I would like to know how this group is addressing the financial relief needs of childcare providers working for private pay. CCPU has already told us that they do not represent private pay providers. So maybe Nancy or at the,
Yes.
any of the, yes, thank you.
Yeah. Yes, so first of all, it has been really tough trying to advocate for private pay for the simple reason that the state is, you know, they regulate everything. They want to follow every dollar. And so it's really challenging if you're only receiving private pay for them to do that. But Giselle, hold on. I just can't spill the beans. We are fighting, and I do believe that you will be receiving something soon. Now, that $10,000 for large family child care providers that was put forth, that grant, that was for every provider. You didn't have to be just for subsidized. It was for every provider here in Alameda County. So I think it's not as much, and I feel awful about it, but no, Giselle, we are hearing the plea and the cry. And this organization is intending to do this as well. This is a funding issue. Trust me, it is a funding issue. We're working hard about undocumented child care providers and also private pay providers. And stay tuned. Don't just stay tuned. We're coming. And the state is coming. They've heard us. They've heard us. And I sincerely feel that they are going to come forth with that. I'm trying to read your note, Giselle. Sadly, priority was given to providers with subsidies, not to providers closing. Well, stay tuned for that. We are addressing all of these issues, Giselle. And it's been tough. It has been. And I apologize because we want providers staying open. We do want you staying open.
And if I can chime in, I was made aware of this by one of our fellow providers that she did not receive the grant that we guys received who were having subsidy kids. So I did address that issue at the Alameda County ECE group, and they all acknowledged the fact that yes, it was difficult for them to have that kind of thing, but it came down from the state. It was not something that came down from the county, but they will definitely put in a word to let everybody know that that's what the ask is on the ground right now. So hopefully we will get something.
Thank you, Shruti. I want to tell the participants that you will have a chance to speak more with our wonderful panelists in the breakout rooms. Right now, I would like to transition the floor to my colleague, Diana Garcia. She is one of First Five's data and policy analysts, and she will speak to us a little bit about data and policy. So welcome, Diana.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Slides to share.
Morning.
There we go. Great. So just for first update day, we have new guidance from the state fire marshal. The guidance includes new clear safety rules for pre-inspections. Can we use the next slide, please? Thank you. Which states that pre-inspections are not required, but providers can request one if they like. And then for new guidance for inspections, we have that local fire departments may not charge family child care providers for fire inspections, and annual inspections are not required annually. So this is just new guidance that I want to note that the Child Care Law Center has been a strong advocate for and advocating for. There's additional information that you can check out on their website, which I can add to the chat. If you have more questions regarding this new state fire marshal guidance, feel free to add it into the chat and we'll do our best to get back to you with responses to those questions. But I just wanted to share that this new guidance is available. Next slide, please. Thank you. And then now we have data that on family child care providers on Oakland. So pre-COVID, just in general, we know that there are about 314 family child care sites in Oakland, which serve 3,058 children. However, data from December 2020 shows that 57% of these family child care providers reported that they are open. That means that 134 family child care providers have had to close since COVID started. And again, this is just data from December 2020. So these numbers could have changed. Next slide, please. And just to provide a comparison on this data, on the left, we have pre-COVID numbers, and on the right, we have data from December 2020. So it just shows the number of slots that have reduced in capacity and the number of family child care providers that have had to close since the start of COVID. Next slide, please. And we have a lot more of this information available on the info sheets that Trisha just shared on the chat. There will be a breakout room where we'll be able to go into more details and discussion on local policy updates, state bills, and information that's included in the American Rescue Plan. And these infographic sheets are available in English and Spanish and in Mandarin and Chinese, or Chinese languages. But feel free to include your questions in the chat group or join the policy breakout room later today. But I just wanted to give you all an overview of information that we have available for you all today. Thank you. I see Nancy has a question.
Yes, I do. So with the closures, and now while that we have all of these amazing providers on the line here, how would you all feel about the opportunity to increase your enrollment, your capacity, if that was allowed? Do you think that would help? So we've got to supplement some kind of way. What do you think the best idea would be? And I bring this forward because we're advocating for a lot of things. So would an increase in capacity help? How many of you would feel that you're in a position to increase your capacity and your workforce? I would just like to get someone to give me some feedback on that. Okay, advocates, I'm listening.
Hi, this is Charlotte. I know, especially with the small family child cares, a lot of time they have the teacher-child ratio. For example, you've got 3 teachers but you can only have the 8 children. And if they allowed them to have 10, and it's all about supervision, safety is number one. So if you're being safe and they can make a guideline for that, like with centers, they got supposed to have 15 and 2, and I visit centers and it's, oh, this person didn't show up and they're late. But it's all about that safety and security. That's number one. Before any dynamic programs, fancy programs mean nothing when you're not safe. Infants are not cared for. If it's a fire, you got to get those kids out of there. So if they raise that teacher ratio, it's all good. I mean, that's the whole thing. When you're, you know, we got systems, we've got how we're setting them up, but it's all about that. If they allow us right now, that other assistant, if they come, you got your 3-4 assistants, fine. I mean, it's, and you've got the spacing. There's going to be some targeted areas that they would look at. But some of us have beautiful big homes. We have the space. We can do all this. And like I have, it's 4 of us. You know, I have, you know, 2. You know, I got part-time teachers, and even when I have, you know, you've got infants, you've got toddlers. You know, we make it work. Even though they say, oh, you only need 1, and I got 3. Okay, I gotta go potty. What happens to them? So it's all about that. I think it's a great idea, but it's, you give us another assistant qualification, a ratio qualification, it will work.
Charlotte, thank you so much. I always like to check the temperature, as they say, as we move forward, because that's important. And I want to make sure that, that I'm representing Alameda County properly.
We also have Carolyn and Sumi who want to share something too.
Please.
Time. If not, we can also continue this discussion in breakout rooms.
Do we have time?
Yes, Carolyn, go ahead.
Good morning, my sister Carolyn.
Okay, I'm Carolyn. I'm Carpenter. I'm a family child care provider in Oakland and part of CCPU. I don't like the idea of increasing ratios as a way to make it economically feasible, because I don't think we should have to keep taking on more to get paid a worthy amount. I think we are all doing a lot of work already, and they should be paying us for each kid so that we are earning what we deserve to be earning without taking on more. I think it is important that we stay within like NAEYC guidelines of what they consider quality ratios. And I think that we should be paid for those quality ratios. But family child care has lower ratios, so we should be making more money, you know, because for each kid, because we have lower ratios, and you know, that's quality. So I don't think we should have to keep taking on more and more just to make ends meet. But that's my opinion.
Excellent, Carolyn, thank you. Shruti, I'd like to hear from you. Anyone else? Yeah.
I totally agree. We don't have to take on more to get that quality, but just have them listen to us in a way that we provide a service, you know, and we should be paid at least minimum. We are right now, most of us are working even less than minimum, you know. So at least take us in that prospect of, we're not even getting minimum pay. What are you talking about getting more kids? At least give us, like, at least raise the rates so that we can get minimum pay, you know, which we are not. So we have to definitely voice that one out.
Right. Or how about, I was thinking, because this is really on my heart, what if we ask the state to pay for the assistant? You know, how does that work?
Well, that would be very nice, but in reality,
well, they've got a lot of money coming down the pike. So, I mean, you know, you all, I've been advocating for a long time. I'm going to throw this stuff out here. That's why I'm asking you all. I have some amazing folks here on the line. I want to take advantage of it.
Nancy,
Charlotte, We also had Sume who had her hand raised, and then I
Go ahead.
hands raised, but we'll end with Sume and then we can continue the discussion in the breakout room so that everyone has a chance to share today. Thank you.
So Sume is an interpreter, so to have her speak, I'd have to turn off the interpretations. But
Okay.
but I've asked her to put something in the chat, and I'm happy to share for her. Or I can
Thank you.
interpretations for a minute.
All right, I'm glad that there's a lot of discussion around this topic. We can continue it in the breakout rooms since it's really important. Let's see. Trisha, are you going to be guiding us through the next part?
Yeah, it'd be great if we can
Thank
go
you
to
all.
the next slide. I'm gonna drop the breakout rooms document into the chat really quickly. So
I'm sorry,
Sarah,
I would like to say something if I can before we go to the breakout rooms.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Hi, this is Patricia Hernandez, and I am a early childhood educator here in Berkeley. And you know, I came in late to the meeting, but I just want to say that we did not receive $10,000 from First Five. We got I received a minimum amount of, I think it was 1,100 or something like that. You know, I do want to see if this money that is going to be distributed by our new president, if they can take into account, you know, providers that are that have only children in private pay, not because we choose to, but it's just because of the location that we are, that our school is, where our school is located. The reason that a lot of schools with private pay are closing down is because they're not receiving any kind of grants, you know, subsidized. I hear that, you know, they're receiving X amount of money, you know, very often. And I do, you know, I'm thankful for them and I appreciate that. But I think, you know, I mean, I'm lucky that I have a husband and I have, you know, my kids that are college graduates and, you know, they're able to help us out. But there's a lot of people that are not in that situation that only have children that are private pay. And a lot of the schools are closing down because, you know, when families with private pay leave, they don't have that income coming in. And I would just like to see if, you know, if that can be taken into account and also help, you know, keep an eye out for private pay and also help them as well. That's all. Thank you.
Who's going to address it? Patricia, all I can say, you know, we are currently at the board, at the table negotiating just for that. You know, I can't go into details, but let me tell you, Patricia, that is coming up from every county and people are understanding that. And we're trying to get the state to understand it so that you all can get some sort of relief. And my heart goes out to all of the providers that have not been able to receive any sort of kind of subsidies like that. And maybe that, Diana, that we have First Five here, that's something that First Five also needs to take up. We are taking it up in the union, with our union folks. And I saw Joy say, apply for the grants, and that's true. You have to apply for the grants. Yeah, I'm so sorry, Patricia, I really am, but we are trying. It comes up all the time, We are trying, we are pushing.
Okay, thank you. And I am grateful, you know, to First Five and Bananas for, you know, for all the support that they are giving us. You know, I don't want to sound like I'm not grateful. I am grateful for, you know, everything that, you know, the PPP supplies that we have received and, you know, the little grants here and there. I am thankful for that. But, you know, I would like to see more help for those schools that, you know, are almost closing down because they just don't have the income. Thank you.
Right.
So thank you all for this really informative exchange. I want to transition over to breakout rooms. We'll spend 15 minutes in breakout rooms, and this is really important because it'll help us document and get a sense of everyone's perspectives, everything that you're saying right now, because there is great need for a lot of advocacy and policy change. So I'm sorry to cut folks short in the large group discussion, but we want to go into breakout rooms. A couple quick things, just housekeeping things because of some of our technical difficulties. Maria, I'm going to have you join Nancy's breakout room number 4 to step in as the note taker. And Joan, you're the facilitator for breakout room 7. If you can either both facilitate a note take or appoint or ask someone to volunteer for a note taker, that would be great. So with that, I'll transition over to Sarah, who can set us into the setup.
Okay, Sarah, 而家幫我哋去分組啦。
Joan is the breakout room facilitator for room 8.
我而家有
I don't see how to get on to the breakout room.
Hi, everybody. I turned off interpretations just so we can go into breakout rooms. Joan, we just combined the first 2 breakout rooms, so now you're.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Did an FCC,
Great.
but it'll be breakout rooms.
Got it.
Sarah,
So I'm gonna open up breakout rooms, and then people can join and choose which one they want to join.
Okay.
So here we go, everybody. We'll have about 15 minutes, and then we'll come back and share together. Thank you so much.
大概有15分鐘，又可以分享我哋嘅想法。
En los room y vamos a estar en un momento.
So you should be able to go and choose the topic that you're most interested in. And you're welcome to switch topics if you want to. Halfway through is fine. There'll be people from this group taking notes and facilitating in each of the rooms. So thank you so much. If you have any questions, let us know.
Sarah, this is Giselle. Can you give a little bit of context about these titles for the breakup rooms? What is legislation or what is data from SCC?
So there's some data around family child care providers. That's just like local data from Alameda County. And then the state is the policy that's happening at a state level. So if you're interested in local family child care data, you can go ahead and choose that one. And then the state legislation is at a state level. And then there's Measure C, information about the union. And then there's a Spanish-speaking group, and then also a Chinese-speaking group, and a general discussion. So.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Sarah, I can't get into the data group for some reason. I don't know.
I can.
Can you put me there?
Yep. There you go.
Thank you.
If anybody has a preference, I'm happy to put them in the group if they're having some trouble. Just let me know what you're interested in.
Sarah, this is Charlotte.
Hi, Charlotte.
I'm not in the breakout room, or am I?
Which one are you supposed to be in? I think the first one, right?
Yeah.
I also cannot get into the group. It's not giving me an option to choose anything.
Who is that that needs help?
Shruti. And I am in group 1.
There you go.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, Sarah. This is Cassandra. How are you?
Hi, Cassandra.
Hi. I'm not in a big breakout room either.
Okay.
And I don't see an option.
Oh, there should be an option. Is there an option at the bottom? You can click breakout rooms and then select the one you want to be a part of. But I'm happy to put you in a group. So there's a general discussion group. There's the Spanish speaking group, Chinese speaking group, the union conversation, Measure C, state legislation, and understanding data on family child care.
Can you put me in the general discussion group?
Yes. And this is for Cassandra?
Yes, thank you.
Perfect.
Hi, Miss Sarah. I'm not in the room either. I can go into general speaking. It's fine.
Is this Therese?
Features, uh-huh.
Yes, in the general? Okay, perfect.
Yes, thank you.
I see Faye and Giselle and Christy and Maria, Valerie. Do you have a preference?
Hi, Sarah, this is Maria, and I'm
Hello.
not in the break room right now. So, are you going to give us a break room? Which one are we going to?
So you can choose. Are you interested in talking about general general topics, or are you interested in policy at a state level or a local level?
Oh, maybe you can just put me in the general one.
General? Okay. There you go. We should have the option now. Christy, I see you. You're muted, so I'll ask to unmute you.
Okay. How about the general?
Christy, general discussion. Perfect. Giselle, do you have a preference? No. Faye?
In general, please.
Is that for Faye? Got you.
Hi, this is Patricia. Can I go to the general meeting room, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Giselle, did you want to be a part of the Spanish speaking group or the general group?
Make sure that as children in care are grow older, that the rate stays constant, right? So that need for continuity of care is so critical for our children, and family child care providers absolutely have that embedded into their work. But why should a child that's been with you since they were infants then all of a sudden that get paid less because they've become a school age child? So that was one point that was brought up. The other critical point that was brought up is the need to include all providers and supports, understanding that private pay providers may represent undocumented childcare providers that are not eligible to accept subsidy, but still are providing a critical service to the community. And if you say providers and include providers in relief grants, to make sure that private pay providers are also included, because they also need access to supports and resources. Those were the two main points in that breakout room. Thank you.
Thank you, Gabby. And I think Giselle had her hand up.
Oh, it's just a follow-up question. My conversation was cut up short, and I wanted to know who in this group that works at First Five could have a follow-up conversation with me this coming week.
Gabby and I, we can both follow up with you. Well, I'll add our emails in the chat.
Thank you. That will help me.
Giselle, I would like to be included if possible. This is Patricia Hernandez.
Yes, sure. I can make sure we all connect. Thank you very much, everyone.
Gracias.
I really appreciated this opportunity.
Thank you. I see Joan has her hand up.
Yes, thank you. We were in the group 7, the data breakout group, and it was a small group, but it was dynamic in the sense that data is important. And I'm going to use a quote because I thought it was good. where the bodies are and where the money's being spent. That was just like, you know, an important thing, but also it's very complex, the funding. There are state, local, federal, and it's very confusing what you apply for and what you don't. And so, you know, having some clarity so that you know, we have to keep ourselves safe, and we want to know the numbers, so connecting those dots is good. The other point that was brought out was as programs, as vaccinations increase and more children are going back to school, or parents are going, you know, things are reopening and parents are going back, providers, family child care providers that are serving school-age children have different types of service delivery that are needed, and maybe some support around that, you know, because you have some that are on hybrid, 2 days a week, 3 days a week, or all in person. So this whole school FCC partnership to support children in their common mutual goals is really important as well. You know, I guess the grant money and how to make sense of all of the different initiatives was something that came up. And, you know, of course, we needed more time, but is there anything else, JJ, that you captured, or anybody from that group that they'd like to add to?
I think that was really good, Joan. I think I also captured that along the lines of the ideas circling around the SBA loans and the funding and the grants navigation is also like a clear understanding perhaps of how do we actually use the numbers and the data to have that clear story to show where the effect is and show where the people are and show where the money goes, as you mentioned, Joan. But really understanding that the numbers will help us show the impact of the work that FCCs do, and then where there are gaps, say there are wage gaps, like how can we use that data for policy and to advocate?
Yeah, thank you, JJ, and especially the brain development that is from 0 to 5 is the foundational for later you know, learning outcomes, positive learning outcomes. And we're paying providers the least during the most impactful time of a child's life in terms of their brain. And that has to be a huge talking point.
Right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. So we're almost at time. I see Carolyn and Cynthia have their hands raised. So maybe you can go to Carolyn and then Cynthia, and then I'll turn it over to Maria and Sarah from Bananas. So Carolyn, when you're ready, go ahead.
Hi, my breakout group was about legislation, state legislation, and we focused on AB 22, which oddly has, you know, Early Edge and Condango are, you know, sponsors and things of that, but it would basically extend the TK and to all 4-year-olds and eventually 3-year-olds, which would have a huge impact on family child care and close a lot of programs down, and also create kind of a dual system where those who have could still afford quality child care in, you know, preschool settings, and those without would have to take what was free and available, however that worked out. And there's so many questions to this bill, and it's such weird timing in the middle of the pandemic when the public schools aren't even really fully open to all kids, and how this would impact families and family choice, and how it would impact kids being transported around during the day, and whether those teachers would even have ECE, or, you know, what the ratios would be. So we talked about the need for there to be, you know, conversations on a state level about this bill.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carolyn. Was there someone else who had their hand up? Who gets to
Yeah.
say the last word? Who's up for that?
So
Somebody
Cynthia's
is.
up for that.
All right, let's hear it. Cynthia, what do you got?
Oh, wow. I was going to touch the same subject that was just spoken about how they're trying to take away the 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds from the private sector of childcare, and also that dealing with data. I'm going to try and talk fast. Dealing with data is that they are now seeing that a large amount of children are coming to the private sector due to the pandemic. The schools are not open. They have shorter time of the children being in school, because right now in the Oakland Public School, the children are returning only for 2 hours. Who is going to do the pickup and drop off? Parents cannot do that if they're working at that time. And also dealing with I'm trying to work out really fast. Also doing with the rate that we're getting for those who are getting paid from subsidized programs. It states that we are getting lower pay, even though we're doing the same amount of work we're doing with the school age children after they turn 5.5 years old. What type of things are we going to do about that? I think that's it.
Awesome.
And the continuity of care for children, that this is really critical. Keeping, not throwing out the relationships made with providers and children over the years, not to throw that out just because a new program is being funded. That the continuity of care, if there are program criteria that the state needs to see, then support for that criteria to be implemented needs to be built and baked into the system so that providers can be successful and deliver the kind of continuity of care and high quality child care that children need.
So we've learned a lot of this meeting. We've learned that we need more time. And I'm wondering if our next meeting, you guys just want to have breakout rooms and just so we have plenty of time to talk. I think we're learning. We appreciate your patience. We've had issues with technology. We have people who couldn't log in. There's a lot that goes on the back end. We have like 27 screens open. So I really, really appreciate your patience. We want to include everybody here, but we can only do with the technology we have. We do not have time for a raffle, but I wanted you guys to see what's actually on the table. So right after this meeting, we are going to draw 25 winners. And actually, it may be that everybody on this call will receive something. We are going to take note of all your feedback. We are going to be more sensitive to how we structure these meetings so we're not rushed. And again, just like the first day of school, you set up the classroom and you think it's going to go one way, and then we just go outside because it all falls down. So I really appreciate everyone's patience. It's a lot to maneuver, guys. This is hard too. This is hard work too. So I appreciate it. All of your feedback is so important to us. I see Mr. Robert has to share. We are going to continue to have these meetings. We anticipate having at least 3. We've said we're going to have 3 to 6, where in the end we would have a final document driven by you that says these are the things that you recommend for new policies for FCCs in Oakland. I want to encourage all of you to do the evaluation. The link is going to be put in the chat. Sarah, if you could just stick that in the chat. Mr. Robert, do you want to close us out? Will you have some thoughts? Mr. Robert's going to unmute. Did you unmute? Okay.
Okay, I think we should just have a breakout room where we all can collaborate, because it went by so fast.
I told you.
I'm learning. And it's helpful. I see it being very beneficial for everyone.
Great. Well, I'm going to follow up shortly. You guys, I think everybody's going to walk away with a prize today. So I will follow up shortly. We'll do the raffle, and you can come pick it up at Bananas anytime, Monday through Friday. I'll put my email address in there as well. I'll meet you at the door. Joy, do you have a quick question? And then we'll say bye for today. I saw you had your hand up for 1 second, Joy. No, you're good. Okay, I'm just blind. Anyone else? Again, I'm sorry we're rushed, but this is our first learning experience, and we appreciate all of you.
Thank you.
Great
Trisha,
job, Robert.
Bye, everybody. So wonderful to see
everyone.
you guys.
Thank you so much, all
Thank
of
you
you. Enjoy
all.
your Saturday.
Thank you all.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Sarah.
Thank you. Thank you. I learned a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Hall.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cynthia for sharing.
Gracias, gracias.
Gracias, Margarita.
Gracias. Adiós.
Adiós.